All right, so it's 3 p.m. and we are all set to begin with our today's webinar. Once again, I welcome all our participants to this exciting series where HREI, along with Great Manager Institute, brings before you the 2023 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic Leading People in the Current Times. Great Manager Institute conducts a Great People Manager survey in India and have come up with a list of top 100 managers. And the recognition is powered by Forbes India and Great Manager Institute, where we are fortunate to have five managers from the esteemed list who would be sharing their success stories, mantras, hits and misses, and achievements over leading their team in current times. To know more about HRA and Great Manager Institute, I request all the participants to visit the link posted in the chat window. Request all the participants to kindly follow the webinar guidelines mentioned in the chat window. It's my privilege to introduce our masterclass speaker for today's session, Mr. Pramod Ganji, Senior Vice President, Business Development, Infibeam Avenues Limited. I would also like to congratulate him for this achievement. Mr. Pramod is currently the Senior Vice President, Business Development at Infibeam Avenues Limited, a leading fintech organization operating at a global scale. An IIMA alumnus, he has completed 18 years of distinguished performance in handling varied functions including bank alliance, marketing, sales and development. He leverages his business expertise, marketing insights, and exceptional people management skills to build revenue generating streams from scratch and deliver optimal results for his organization and its clientele. You can follow him on LinkedIn. The link for the same has been shared in the chat window. So, without wasting much time, I will hand over the platform to Mr. Pramod to take this discussion forward. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Faisal, for the kind introduction. At the onset, I would like to thank Great Manager Institute and HRAI for extending this opportunity. I always wanted to be a part of such forum and share my learning and experiences. Would you like to share my presentation, Faisal?
Yes, Mr. Pramod.
Yes. To begin with, this is a quote which I firmly believe in. I live by this quote on a daily basis. I mean, this is a very strong quote that I always believe in. In my opinion, to be successful at anything, your attitude and gratitude plays the most important role than your ability. Hence, we all should always stay positive and be grateful for whatever we have in life. I mean, in fact, me myself, I am one of the classic examples of someone who has been absolutely positive throughout my journey, and I've had great gratitude towards anything and everything that has come my way and whatever I've achieved till date. Slide two. So, just sharing the context of the presentation, I have decided to keep this session less theoretical and more experiential. In this webinar, I will try to define leadership the way I have worked the leadership the way it has worked for me. I will be broadly covering these points during the presentation, and this is what you can expect from this 1 hour session. I will take a couple of minutes to share about my experience beyond work. I mean, there's something that I have also done beyond my work. The professional goal that I have decided for myself, and this is almost a decade-old goal that I had decided for myself for a very long time. Then what doesn't work? I mean, most important, even before knowing what works, it is very important that we know what doesn't work and what has worked for me in my journey throughout my journey. And I will also try to share. I mean, I'm sure we have audiences from all the stages of their career. So typically, in any corporate professional's career, there are 4 stages. So I will try to share those 4 stages and what are the traits that you need to generate over every stage. And then I also have a bonus slide in at the end of the presentation where I would like to summarize things and try to put a message across in the way we should evolve as leaders and the message that we should actually pass on to the future generation. Slide 3. Okay, so as per record, I have about 17 years of experience. But off the record, I have about 25 years of experience. Okay. From the age of 10 to 17, I had the opportunity to work for so Faisal, you will have to, yeah. So I had the opportunity to work for an apparel store. I've also worked for a medical store at a very young age. And I have also done door-to-door sales, selling insurance policies and postpaid SIM cards at the very early stage. And the reason why I have, Faisal, you'll have to click. Yeah. So the reason why I have shared, I felt it's a good idea to share this part of my life story is mainly because of two reasons. One is these are some of the learnings. There are some learnings that I try to cover, which are very very important, which I've actually adopted at a very early stage in my life. Okay, and this experience allowed me to have absolute clarity in terms of deciding my career. So from the very beginning, when I had decided to choose a career for myself, I had decided to go for sales and marketing as my career. Faisal, click. So yeah, these are some of the learnings that I've had at the very early stages of my career. So I got the foundation of sales right from the beginning. At the age of 10 itself, while I was working for this apparel store, I learned the knack of I got the knack of sales from there. I also generated a kind of self confidence in terms of communicating with people. I also realized the importance of relationship management and the way business is done in India. So I also realized that relationship is the basis beyond on which a lot of businesses are created in this country. In fact, not just this country, but across the entire world. And then I also adopted a sense of convincing skills at a very early stage of my career, and I was also able to keep accountings and bookkeepings, and I was also traveling at a very early age. I was able to manage inventories. I learned how to manage inventories at the stores, etc., etc. And this has helped me a lot in terms of creating my base of the career that I am, and that's the reason. And I give high credits to this experience that I had at a very early age. Because of this experience, I think I was able to I'm able to perform the way I am right now and being able to contribute to my organizations. And the second and the most important is that I come from a very humble background. Okay, we used to be from a very humble background. So there's one message that I want to convey to everybody, that your family background cannot decide your future. Your positive attitude and finding the right people at the right time, you can achieve whatever you wish in your life. I am fortunate to have actually found the right mentors and right people throughout my life who have guided me to where I'm right now. So all credit to people who are a part of my life, my career, who have actually guided me, and that's the reason why I was able to achieve whatever little I could by now. There's the next. So this is what I have been aspiring for. Uh, Faisal, you can you do one thing? Faisal, just give me the rights now. I will share my screen.
Yeah, sure. One second. You have the rights. You can.
Okay, 1 minute. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, so this has been one of my aspirations from a very long time. Though I always wanted to be to reach the highest stage in my career. but there was always this one clarity that I always had. I always wanted to be amongst that 0.1% of the CXOs who are also physically and mentally fit. So this is the goal by which I actually live my life. Okay, so alongside working on my professional skills, I also ensure to spend good amount of time in the gym and doing all the mental activities, which has actually helped me. 1 minute. I'm just facing some trouble. Just give me 1 minute, please. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. So this is something that I also um, keep keep, and I also encourage my team members in focusing more on on their health. Okay, whether it is physical and mental, and take up some activities which will keep them absolutely physically fit for taking up any task. Because in my opinion, I feel that you may be 100% talented in terms of your skill sets, etc., but if your body is not capable enough in handling your in supporting you in your goals and aspirations, then you will have a tough time in reaching your goals. So my message also is that you should always have some goal. So my goal is basically to be the fittest CXO, physically and mentally, and I firmly believe that health is wealth. And then what? So even before we discuss about what works, what is my leadership style, I thought let me also put forward some of the most critical points which doesn't work. Okay, because even before knowing what works, it's very important that we know what doesn't work. So being very overly serious and stern, as we have seen subordinates who try to keep a very serious and stern face, and quite frankly it doesn't work because nobody wants to see a very serious face. So try to keep a smiling face, and try to take all your team suggestions, requests, etc., with a smile on the face, so that would be appreciated. Then the second point is delegation without demonstration. You must have so gone are the times when people used to when bosses used to actually delegate tasks without giving more clarity on what is to be done. There used to be a standard line which a lot of bosses used to say, which is to be like, get it done by hook or by crook. So that doesn't work anymore. Then not communicating your expectations. We've seen that throughout the year, the manager would not have any communication across what is expected out of them. But at the end, during the appraisals, he tries to highlight all the limitations that the team member has, which does not work, to be very honest, in my opinion. And micromanagement. This has been one of the key points that has been discussed in the leadership forum recently. So honestly, nobody likes to work for a micromanager. So it is very important that you, as an individual, allow your team to have a breathing space. They need an environment where they can express themselves very well. They should be able to take their task the way they want. They do not want somebody to sit on their head and just keep asking them about the minutes of the activities that they must have performed during the day. So this also doesn't work. Not listening, very important. This is also a part of the communication, where we have seen bosses who do not have the time, or maybe they do not feel that listening to their team members is very critical, and hence this also doesn't work. You will have to have your ears to the team. You will have to keep listening to what they want, and what are they expecting, what are their sentiments, etc. So and then not being approachable. In fact, this has been the swag for a lot of superiors, to not being approachable. We have seen bosses who will always want you to follow the hierarchy, and quite frankly it is not effective, because there may be some points that they might want to skip the hierarchy and discuss it with you. And if you're not approachable, it is not going to go good with your team members. So, in fact, the fortunate part about me is that in the organization that I'm working for, we have an open door policy. Anybody can walk into the CEO's cabin and he can have his points, he can discuss his points, his concerns, etc. But on the other side, I've seen organizations where the bosses are not approachable at all, and it doesn't work. Rejecting leaves and expecting to work beyond office timing. So this is very, very critical. I mean, according to me, this is very, very inhuman. This is more than it not working. I feel it's a crime. Okay, you trying to control somebody's leaves and expecting them to work beyond working official hours is very, very harsh. And you should, and basically we have seen subordinates, seniors who are actually who try to control the leaves, their holiday plans, the illness of the employees based on their own convenience. So this is also one of the traits that doesn't work in today's time. The employee doesn't feel good about it, and eventually you will lose a very, very important resource. Taking credit where credit is not due. So what I've also learned over a period of time from people's observe from other people's, or maybe the bosses that I've worked for, is that over a period of time your organization itself realizes that you are not giving the credit to your teams. Okay, and over a period of time it is not good for your own career, because if the organization realizes that for everything, for anything and everything, for all the achievements that you've had, you are not trying to give credits to any of your team members, and that's something that none of the organizations also appreciate. So, and then not having their backs, very, very important. Because I mean, in fact, I have also been a part of this experience in my past, where for any mistakes or any goof ups, your senior members do not try to do. They would actually put you in a situation for you to handle the situation by yourself, and they would want you to face all the consequences by yourself. So this doesn't work. So these are some of the qualities I feel, or maybe some of the traits that does not work in today's time. And any leader who wants to run a very, very successful team has to ensure that they are not doing anything of this sort. Of course, the all of these are very, very basic, but I thought it is very important that we should highlight, and we should actually bring it to the attention of the people who are consciously or subconsciously getting into any of these acts. Uh, and then I would talk a little more about my leadership style and what has actually worked for me. So over a period of time, after leading a team for about a decade now, I feel the style that actually suits my personality is a situational leadership style. So, as the name itself defines, situational leadership is where you try to adopt or maybe change your leadership style based on the challenges that your team members are bringing to you, right? So this is so in my opinion, for the style of me leading the team, situational leadership has worked for me. But while you are actually working on your so a lot of things that you need to take care of when you're actually at a leadership position. The very first and most important is to have empathy towards your team. Whenever your team comes and tries to have a discussion with you, you need to, just by looking at them, or maybe have listening to their tone, you should be able to know whether your team member is in a good mood, whether the team member is in a position to take up certain tasks for the day, etc., etc. I have also had situation where the team member was not well, and just by looking at, and but still they turned up to the office thinking that they have been taking too much leaves. But when I saw that the team member is not in a situation to work or even to sit in the office, I immediately asked them to leave office and go home and take rest. So empathy is very, very important. Demonstration before delegation. So whether it is task related, skills related, etc., etc., your team members will only respect and only look up to you if you're able to demonstrate things. Let's say in my part of the career where I'm a salesperson, I need to have excellent presentation skills. I should be able to make amazing presentations in front of my teams. I should be able to demonstrate so that my team members can learn things out of it, and then I can delegate certain tasks to them. Communicate what's expected. This is very, very critical in a as a part of the leadership position, because if you are not able to communicate what is expected, and then you assign a task to your team members, it becomes, and then eventually your team member comes back to you with compromised results, and then you get upset. So it is very important that you very clearly list with very crystal clear communication, communicate it to the team members what is expected out of them when you're assigning certain tasks to them. Responsibility and integrity, very important again, because there is one thing that you have to always keep in your mind is that you are bestowed with the trust of the organization, and hence you have to be absolutely responsible. You are also responsible for your team members success, your organization success. You are already sitting at a very critical position in your organization, and hence any decision that you take has to have the integrity quotient into it. You have to make sure that you are consciously thinking about the position that you are handling, and based on that you have to take whatever decisions that you're taking for your team or maybe for your organization. Humility, humility is this, so this trait is not just limited to your team members, but for anybody in the organization, whether the person reports into you, the person doesn't report into you. But honestly, if you just approach them or maybe have conversations with them with humble and gratitude, I think it pays you off. In fact, being having humility as a trait does not even cost you anything, but on the other side it has a lot of benefits. A lot of people look up to you as a leader if you are humble to them. Okay, the way it completely depends on the way you treat them, whether the person reports into you, doesn't report into you. It can be the person can be at any levels in the organization. Having an humble approach towards them will always pay you and make you a very good leader in your organization. Mentoring and guiding. I'll be very blunt in saying this, but not many leaders actually focus on this part of their responsibilities. You see, leader supervisors today handle the supervisory roles pretty well, but when it comes to mentoring and guiding is something that they never think about. Maybe it is because they are too much engrossed in their own individual task and responsibilities. But I feel that as an individual, you should always mentor and guide your team. That's the most critical part of your job. Okay, you have been sitting on that position because of the experiences that you have, and if you're not able to share those experience, mentor people and guide people in decision making, then I think it does not make it is not worth to be holding that position. Progressive feedbacks. For progressive feedbacks, I don't think we need to have some events, or maybe we need to have an annual appraisals or half yearly appraisals. The feedbacks can be extended at any given point. In So the style in which I operate my team, I try to give them progressive feedbacks whenever I think the time is right. Okay, and it is at the moment. Okay, it's just that while you are giving them a progressive feedback, it has to be very conscious. You have to be very conscious about the kind of words, the kind of terminologies, the kind of tone that you're using, ensuring that you are not trying to demean your team. Okay, trying to degrade their confidence levels, etc. That is the reason why I consciously use a word called as, instead of me calling it a mistake, I try to use a word called as scope of improvements. Okay, or so that's something that we as leaders have to do time and again with your teams. And then rewards and recognition, which again I had covered in the limitations also. So I feel uh, every individual, okay, apart from the money aspect of the profession that we are doing, the most critical part of our job is the rewards and recognition side of it. Okay, in fact, over a period of time, I've seen that for people, money does not matter as much as the rewards and recognition matters. So as and when you have the opportunity, make sure that you're rewarding and recognizing your team members in front of the entire forum, making them feel proud about whatever achievements that they've had. That itself gives a lot of boost to the team members, and that helps elevate their performance to the different level altogether. And then allow them to make mistakes and learn. So while I'm saying this very consciously, because when we were also juniors, we also had this situation where we used to make a lot of mistakes, and we should all agree to the fact that unless you don't make mistakes, you don't learn, right? So whenever you have a situation where your team members are making mistakes, don't try to go harsh on them. Try to support them in those mistakes that they have done, and try to support them in terms of fixing all those mistakes that they have done. So that is also very critical. And then flexibility in terms of the way they want to handle their task or any project, or maybe the flexibility in terms of the place or the time at which they want to perform their specific task. So after lockdown, I think people have become very, very comfortable with work from home. And even after 3 years of 2 years of COVID going away, people still want to have their own comfortable place from where they want to perform. So individually, I have always believed that the team, as far as your work is getting done, it does not really matter whether your team is working from office, working from home, etc., etc. So it just uh, depends on the end result. So it, more than anything, uh, you should always focus on the end result that your team member is trying to deliver. So you should always give them the flexibility of handling their task the way they want and from whichever place they want to, and then decide together. This is something that I have been doing for quite some time now. So if there is any process that I need to implement, or maybe if there is any project that I want to initiate work on, I always try to take my team's opinion into consideration. So we get into a room, we try to discuss on the project, I take their feedbacks, and then we have a very, very constructive decision in terms of what do we really want to do. And on the other side, it has also helped me because there are times when I individually, when I think of a specific task or a project, there are few things that might not come to me also, okay, while I'm working on that project, but it might come from a team leader, from your team members. So it is also very important that you decide together, because the effectiveness of the decision that you've taken eventually is much, much better than you deciding in isolation and then passing on that decision to your teams and asking them to simply follow what you've decided. So this is also very important. So these are some of the yeah, and the last one is add value beyond work. So I have always believed that it is no more a boss and subordinate relationship. The corporate ecosystem has completely evolved. It has become more like a family now. In fact, my relationships with almost all my team members has been at a very, very personal level. In fact, I've given them the comfort of coming to me and discussing any problems in which I am capable enough to address it and maybe give them a solution. I have team members coming to me for fitness suggestions. I have team members coming to me for investment suggestions, etc., etc. And I'm always happy to help them beyond work, because if they are well sorted in their personal life, that eventually will help you get things done from them on the official front, on the professional front. So these are some of the traits, I think, which are very, very important as a leader. And this is something that I personally, so whatever I've just mentioned here are something that I personally follow and try to implement it in my team. And this honestly has given me great results. So for so many years of my work experience as a leader, I've never had pressures in terms of sales pressure or maybe business volume pressures. It's only because I was able to manage my team well, and my team was able to manage the business well. So my suggestion to everybody is to try to focus on these aspects of your leadership style. And of course, I'm not saying that this is the only way, but this is my way, and this way has actually worked for me in terms of managing my team. And then, uh, so while you are holding a position of a leader, a superior, or a manager, these are some of the things that you need to very consciously remember throughout your journey. Some of it are very, very repetitive. I've already covered it, but you may consider this slide as a summary and some additions that I've not covered in the previous slides. So of course, the most basic and the most obvious is to be consistent and focus in terms of any task that you're handling. Because if you yourself are not consistent and focused, you cannot expect the same from your team members. You are responsible, as I mentioned to you last also. You are responsible because you are holding this position. The company, the organization has bestowed their trust on you, and it is very important that you consciously keep this in your mind that you're responsible for your company success and also your team member success, because they are also dependent on you. Their careers are dependent on you. So any action that you take has to be with a very cautious call. And then you need to be very realistic in terms of what are you expecting from your organization and also from your team members. Respect people at all levels. As I said, humbleness is free, but it has great returns. And then you always have to be grateful for whatever you are, whatever you're achieving and whatever you're getting in your life, because eventually it all comes back. Okay, if you are being grateful, humble, if you have that sense of feeling in you, eventually it multiplies and it comes back to you. This last two slides are very critical. In fact, these are the 2 points that one of my MBA professor had shared with me when I was actually struggling in my career initially. So just sharing this short story with you all, I had reached out to one of my professors because I was not getting success in my career. And even before I could discuss my problem statement, he reached out to me, and he said that and he said, "Are you the eldest of the family?" I said, "Yes, sir." "How do you know?" So he was like, "No, I am also a professor of psychology. I can look at people and I can know what is the problems, etc." And I told him that I am not getting much success in my career. I have my friends who are growing and they are doing better in their life. But how do I'm putting in all the efforts. I'm doing everything possible, but I'm not getting success. So that's where he had given me these two mantra, which I always keep in my mind while I'm working for the organization, working with my team. Is one is to never cheat. You should never cheat at the place that you're working, and you should always put your 100%. So he said that uh, even when you're not getting what you're expecting, you should always give your 100% and not just and just wait for the right time. Things will come to you for sure. The success will come to you. Just never cheat and never and always put your 100%. So these are some of the things that I feel that everybody should remember throughout their journey. And then this is the trait that I was talking about. So every individual professional, the corporate professional, goes through these four stages. Stage one is price. Price means when I'm taking up a job, my first job, I'm very conscious about the price that I'm getting, the CTC that I'm getting, right? How much package am I going to get? And then stage two, once you've actually achieved your price point, or maybe you've got your salary, you've got a comfortable job, then the second thing that you're focused on is just 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, sorry. So the second thing that you always aspire after a salary is to have a position. You want to be an assistant manager. I want to be a manager. So that is something that you aspire. That's the second stage of your career. Then the third stage is power. Okay, power. When you have a position, now you want to take bigger decisions. You want to be a part of bigger decisions in your life. Okay, and you want to basically control people's life, or maybe you want to take decisions on behalf of the organization, bigger organizations, etc. So that is stage three. And then after achieving all the three aspects, price, position, and power, you eventually think of a comfortable place. Comfortable place. So this basically is the point you attain in your life when you're somewhere in your 50s or maybe closer to your retirements. That's where you want your office to be near to your home, or maybe you want to have work from home, etc., etc. So primarily these are the four stages that I see for any professional in their careers. And while you are actually at any of these stages, there are some of the traits that you need to generate. So at stage one, you need to have the inquisitiveness to learn. Okay, that's very, very important. So while you're getting your first job or maybe first salary, you should always have the inquisitiveness to learn. Proactiveness, you should always try to be proactive in terms of taking up tasks, coming up with out of box suggestions, or anything that can effectively create value for the organization. Stage then you have to be absolutely aggressive. I mean, aggressiveness, I'm not saying that has to be only at stage one, or any of these traits that I'm talking about should not be left behind at stage one or two or three. All of this has to be carried along the way. So aggressiveness is something that you need to have at the very beginning. Quite frankly, I've seen a lot of young MBAs or maybe freshers who want to have a very, very comfortable job, office desk job, etc., sitting in the AC. But quite frankly, real learning as far as sales is concerned is out there in the sun. So if you have not seen the sun, and if you have not done uh, direct sales, then eventually you've not learned anything in sales, is what we say as sales professionals. And then work on your basic skills, because today, for whatever education that we're getting from the MBA schools, are giving you a lot of theoretical knowledge, but when it comes to basics like basics of computers, basic of presentation making skills, communication skills, all of that is lacking in today's generation also big time, because I actually take a lot of interviews and I've seen that these basics are missing. So these are some traits that you need to generate when you're at stage one. Then at stage two, when you are holding a position and you are at a managerial position, you should, for whatever experience that you have gained over a period of time, you should be able to pass on that knowledge, create a learning center, and give as much information and knowledge to your team members, so that you create a very, very strong knowledgeable team. Then work towards people skills. So for whatever skills that you have attained in stage one, and you feel it is very important for the profession or the job that you're holding, you should identify whether your team member is lacking those skills, and try to pass on those suggestions to them and try to work on their skills also. Very important on stage two is, while you are actually approaching from stage one to stage two, where you've already holding a position, some people don't realize that they have already have a managerial position and they have people working for them, and they end up doing all their tasks by themselves. So at stage two, it is very important that you start delegating work. You identify resources and demonstrate and delegate tasks to them, and also monitor them. Try to give them suggestions at this stage. And for you to achieve bigger uh, a bigger stage in life, you have to also find a mentor. The reason why I did not cover find a mentor in stage one is because in stage one you're supposed to work on your individual skills, and then stage two, while you are actually working on somebody else's individual skills, you also have to find somebody who's going to work on your next level individual skills. So that's where it becomes very important that you find a mentor for yourself. I was very fortunate to come across one of the mentors during stage two, and that has actually helped me a lot in my career. And then stage three, where you have the power to take or to decide. I mean, somebody's career can be in your hand, somebody's appraisals can be in your hand, somebody's job can be at your hand. That's where, or maybe the company's future can be in your hand. That's where you should have these three traits very, very, I mean, very, very clearly. You should be more giving in terms of opportunities, in terms of uh, whatever comes to you has to be passed on to your team members in terms of rewards, in terms of whatever recognitions, etc. You should be more forgiving at this stage, because we understand that our work does not allow us to be forgiving, or maybe handling the team with on a very lighter note. But I feel that forgiving is something that is very, very important at this stage, because you cannot take harsh decisions for somebody who has goofed up, or maybe who's done a mistake unknowingly, right? So that's where you should be able to forgive, and also help the individual to fix that situation and come out of it. And then contributing in terms of contributing towards people's life. towards the organization at large and also to the society. So because you are holding that position, you may have the ability to change somebody's life. You may have the ability to change an individual's career altogether. So at stage three, these are some of the traits that you need to generate. And stage four is where you find somebody whom you should mentor. Okay, so you already have achieved everything. I mean, anything and everything that somebody aspires to get in their professional career is already ends at stage three. And at stage four, you are supposed to be finding somebody for mentoring. You should be able to create future leaders and also share your experiences and your situational decisions that you've taken. So I hope I was able to very clearly define the stages and what are you supposed to generate, the traits that you're supposed to generate over a period of time. And this is the last slide where I would like to share my message, okay, which is beyond work. I personally feel that as an individual, while you are working towards your career, it is very important that you don't be that boring leaders. I mean, of course, we have seen having leaders. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but leaders at their positions have health issues. They have lot of they do not they are very focused on work. They do not have passion of their own. They do not focus. I've heard from my bosses saying that, "अरे यार cricket खेल के मुझे कितना time हो गया है." So let's not try to be those boring leaders. Let's inspire the future for future generation to look at life beyond work also. So personally for me, there are three things that I do a lot. Is one is I'm a fitness freak. Okay. Second is I love driving. I love going places. I love traveling. And the third is my hobby is playing cricket. So every weekend I ensure that I'm playing cricket. So my message to everybody is that let's look at life beyond work and try to create a generation which is young, dynamic, and also inspiring at the same time. So thank you very much. With that, I end my presentation and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Pramod. Before we take our participants' questions, we will be initiating the poll. So request all the participants to kindly share your feedback. While you're doing so, request all the participants to kindly post their questions in the chat window. Once again, I thank all our participants for joining our session today. We have received a lot of inquiry about the participation e-certificate offered by HRAI and GMI. You can claim your e-certificate by sharing your details, name and session attended in an email to the email ID provided in the chat window. Please ensure you do this by the end of the day today. We will email the e-certificates to you based on the details received. So, Mr. Mahmood, we have received some of the questions from the registrations. So I'll just like to call it out. So
Okay.
the first question that is, how has the role of leader evolved in recent years and what are the challenges they face in leading people today?
Just a minute. Okay. So I will talk about the experience that I had as a subordinate reporting into somebody, and the kind of leadership that has changed over a period of time. I have seen that individually as a leader, it used to be more of a delegation. It used to be more harsh in terms of handling people, etc., etc. And I've seen that today's leaders are very humble. Okay, it's not that this trait is only with me, but I've seen a lot of leaders. In fact, whatever I've learned is out of the leaders that I'm reporting into, right? So it is only because I've worked with these kind of people is because I've been able to generate that trait. For whatever I am as an individual, as a human being, it is only because of people that I've reported into. So the challenge, as far as the challenges are concerned, quite frankly, because there were very limited opportunities in the past, it was very easy for the leaders of that times to do whatever possible. I mean, they can mishandle their team members, and they can also do say whatever it takes, and still the team members used to stick around to the job and do whatever was expected out of them. But now with growing opportunities in India and also abroad, team members do not want to take anything which is negative, which is impacting their mental health. Okay, and they would immediately take a decision of quitting the organization. So as a leader, it becomes very important to be very conscious in terms of the way you are handling your people. So people handling skills have become very sensitized now, and you have to handle them with a very objective of ensuring that you're not hurting them.
Thank you, Mr. Pramod, for this beautiful answer. We'll go to the next question, that is, in the context of today's globalized and diverse workforce, what strategies can leader employ to effectively lead people from different cultural backgrounds?
Okay, so honestly, I do not follow theory. Whatever I'm going to say right now is out of my own experience. In my case, I think whatever presentations that I made in terms of the way you are supposed to handle your team, some of the things that you need to consciously remember throughout your journey, remains constant. Like for example, your relationship with your team members remain constant, and irrespective of where the person comes from. If you're talking to them with humbleness, if you are being empathetic towards them, if you are able to understand the problem statement, if you are able to address their problem statements, I think it works across any type of team members that you are taking care of.
Thank you. Moving on to the next question, it is how do leaders navigate the complexities of remote work and virtual teams to ensure productivity and maintain a cohesive work environment?
Okay, so for us, I am talking more from sales context because I'm a part of sales. So in case of sales, it is all black and white. I mean, I'm not working for a creative team, or maybe we are not working for a team where the results cannot be measured. Okay, so as far as I am concerned, or maybe my team is concerned, I purely focus on the end result, right? So irrespective whether they're working from home, they're taking leaves, etc., I eventually look at whether they have achieved or not achieved that monthly targets which are been extended to them. And the beauty of sales is that you need not have to assess your team. When you have your expectations clearly drawn at the beginning of the year or beginning of the month, the team member himself knows whether he has performed, not performed, he is falling short, or he's doing really well. So that way it becomes, so communicating your expectations and then not micromanaging, and then having a conversation at the right time is something that I focus on.
You have addressed the question very brilliantly. I appreciate your perspective. The next question is, what role does emotional intelligence play in effective leadership in the present day, and how can leaders cultivate this skill set?
Okay, so yes, in my opinion, I think emotional intelligence is the most sought after. It is purely because these days people have become very sensitive, and be it in their professional front or maybe their personal front, you do not know what are they going through in their personal lives that may have had an impact on their sales numbers, or their professional performance. So in my opinion, professional emotional quotient is one of the most important aspect of your leadership skills. And in terms of uh, uh, generating or maybe creating the skill sets, I think you have to be, more than anything, you will have to be more observant. and you will have to be more sensitive towards your team members. You have to closely monitor them and try to understand what are they, how are they feeling, what are they thinking about you or the organization. Always keep a check on their emotions time and again, and try to have conversations with them beyond work. I mean, also on a personal front in terms of checking their mental health as well.
Thank you, Mr. Pramod. You have provided a comprehensive and a thought-provoking answer. We'll go with the final question. That is, in a rapidly changing technological landscape, how can leaders stay ahead and guide their team through digital transformations?
Okay, so it is very basic. I mean, it is not just because of digital era or because of digital transformation, but leaders at in all generation or maybe in the future also uh, have to level up themselves. Okay, they will have to be one level up to be able to share those value additions with your team members, to be able to inspire people, because unless you are not keeping yourself updated, you are not going to have anything to share with your team, and over a period of time you are going to lose value and lose respect as a leader. So in the digital transformation world as well, the same logic applies. You will have to be updated with the technology. You will have to keep yourself, you will have to keep reading. You will have to reading a lot. You will have to listen to a lot of podcasts, etc., which I personally do, to be able to seek a lot of information from the digital world out there and be able to share it with your team.
Thank you, Pramod, for answering all our questions so crisply and precisely. Thank you for this intriguing session. Your experiences and insights were very thought-provoking. I'm sure our participants have had a lot to learn and take away from this session. I sincerely thank Great Manager Institute for their association and support extended. This session would not have been possible without Great Manager Institute, where we are privileged to be working with them on this series. Though we all know about GMI, I would want to welcome Ms. Anokhi Gamre from GMI to talk more on the institute. Anokhi,
Great.
we can't hear you. Yeah.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Faisal, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you so much, Mr. Pramod, for this thought-provoking presentation that you delivered on leading people in the current times. I could actually resonate a lot with you on this because even I come from a business development background, and I will make sure that I implement all these learnings in my future and in my career journey. And I also give my best wishes to you as you work towards your goal towards becoming the fittest CEO. And one thing that will actually stay with me is that quote you shared at the very beginning, which actually emphasizes on the importance of a positive attitude and gratitude for success, even more than the ability of a person. So I think that is something that I'll keep with me. And lastly, congratulations once again on being recognized as one of the top 100 great people managers of 2023.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
Anup.
yes, no problem. So today I'll also talk about Great Manager Institute in brief, followed by a small glimpse of our annual recognition program, Great People Manager Study, which gives you an opportunity to get recognized as one of the top 100 great people managers in economic times, right? So allow me to share my screen. I'm just opening it up. Give me a moment. I hope my screen is visible to you. All right. So, yeah. So, Great Manager Institute, as an organization, we are such a concern of Great Place to Work India, and we hyped up with a separate entity back in 2018. when we realized that while Great Place to Work was certifying the best workplaces, people managers are the biggest drivers of organization practices and employee experience at any organization. Hence, the promoters of both Great Place to Work founded a separate entity known as Great Manager Institute, and we follow proprietary framework of Connect, Develop, Inspire to assess people manager effectiveness at various organizations, wherein there are about 20 odd parameters that we cover under Connect, Develop, Inspire collectively, which helps us evaluate people managers at your organization and share tangible insights with you as well. Under Connect individually measures whether the manager is approachable, whether he connects with his team regularly. Develop measures whether the manager guides his team members and helps him grow in the organization. And lastly, inspire
Anoki, we lost you. We can't hear you.
Anoki, we cannot hear you.
Meghna, is she joining back? Or I think she's.
Yes, yes, she has joined.
Yeah, Anoki.
Yeah, sorry, I think I got logged off. I'll just is my screen visible?
No, no, it's not visible. You need to reshare your screen.
I will. Yeah. Is it better now?
Yes.
All right. So we not only assess people managers at your organization, but we also share relevant insights with you that highlights the areas of strength and focus of an individual manager, which is given to us by the team members themselves. And not only that, but we also give you an opportunity to get recognized as one of the top 100 great people managers in economic times, which again helps us boost the personal brand of all the managers. And we also recognize the organizations as top companies with great people managers and leadership factories of India in economic times itself, which again helps us elevate the employer brand of your organization, which again makes you an employer of choice, right? So this is how we have dedicated 2 pages in Economic Times where we publish the list of top 100 great people managers and leadership factories of India. Not only that, but we also sorry, you can see. But we also have a dedicated microsite on timesdefend.com, wherein we also publish this list of top 100 great people manager. All right. This is how the list gets published. We also share the top 100 great people manager badge with you, with all the top 100 great people managers. And this is the list of leadership factories of India, the companies that we've collaborated with for this particular recognition, wherein we also evaluate the leadership practices that you follow at your organization. Not only that, but this list of top 100 great people managers also gets published on Economic Times website, as you can see here, right? So this is how we publish the list of top 100 great people managers. So this was a short glimpse on the entire great people manager study. Happy to hear something about you. I'm also just I will paste my email ID and my number in the chat box. You may reach out to me in case if you want to know more about the entire methodology and how do we assess and recognize these managers. Not only that, but you also have intensive learning and development journeys for all the managers at your organization, which we can implement and we can discuss a bit. So yeah, thank you so much, Faisal, and thank you so much, Mr. Pramod, for the session today.
Thank you, Anoki. Can you unshare your screen?
Yes, I will just share.
So thank you, Ms. Anokhi, for letting us know about Great Manager Institute, and thanks for the benefits extended to the HRAI members. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Pramod, for this beautiful session. We would love to host you again very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
And would like to thank all our participants for joining us today. Do join us for our next masterclass by Sandeep Chetri, CEO, TradeIndia.com on 27th of June, 2023. That's it from our today's webinar. Hope to see you soon. Stay safe, take care, and bye for now. Thank you, Mr. Pramod. Thank you, Anuki.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pramod.